You asked me how I found the program so far. By far, it has been one of the most interesting and challenging things that I have ever taken on in my life.
If you're new to this channel, my name is Jaila.
And I'm Ella.
We're two students completing the Bachelor of Health Sciences program at Queen's University.
And are proudly a part of the first on-campus cohort.
We make videos about our life at Queen's as BHSc students,
on academic, recreational tips, and other fun ideas we have.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like the content.
And like this video if you found it helpful.
Thanks!
Welcome to our new video, and today I'll be interviewing AJ. He's one of my classmates for one of my courses in third year, and I thought that it's a brilliant individual. So I'll let him kind of tell you guys about himself, and then we'll see.
Thank you very much, Jaila. My name is AJ. I'm 45 years old. I'm just entering into fourth year of the Bachelor of Health Sciences program at Queen's University. I'm also a full-time paramedic in the city of Toronto, so I've had a lot of fun over the last few years doing a full-time degree and full-time work.
That's great. I'm always impressed. I remember when we first met, I heard that you're a paramedic, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. Good for you. So you've been in the program for going to fourth year, you said. So how do you find the Bachelor of Health Sciences program so far? And have you applied to another program before? And tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually did go to university at the normal time when I was 19 years old. I went to McMaster University for engineering physics. And at that time, I was focused on different aspects of my life. I was young, I wasn't as focused as I am today, and I really did not enjoy the program. I loved physics in high school. When I got to university, I just realized that that was really not the direction that I wanted to go with my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I ended up leaving university after completing 2 years of my initial bachelor's. Then I went to college for a year at Centennial College to become a paramedic, and that's where I found my passion for healthcare and decided that that's what I want my career to be in. For the last 20 years while working, I've been thinking about going back to university and finishing my degree, but most of the online programs that I found didn't interest me. A lot of them happened to be more focused on, say, health administration and policy, and having a science background and doing well in sciences in high school and biology being my interest, I thought, I'm not interested in any of these types of programs. When I noticed that Queen's had a health sciences program, I was like, this is amazing. I can actually do real science as part of my degree in an online format and still hold my full-time job and be able to do it all online. That's what drew me to Queen's University Health Sciences program. You asked me how I found the program so far. By far, it has been one of the most interesting and challenging things that I have ever taken on in my life. The courses are full of content. I have learned so much, and it has been really hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but trying to do 50 hours worth of content a week and work a 40-hour job every semester has been very difficult, but 100% worth the experience.
Yeah, you're balancing kind of both your full-time job and this program for like the on-campus students who are already in high school. So when we're already in the school mode, and for you, it's going back from work mode to school and work mode. So I imagine that can be very challenging.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the other things that I really liked about the Bachelor of Health Sciences program was that I entered it as an interest student. So in September 2018, when I decided that I wanted to do this, I entered in and only took one course just to see how one course would play out with my life. Then in the winter semester of that year, I took 2 courses. And then in the summer semester of that year, I took 3 courses. And by fall, I actually enrolled in the actual program and started my full-time course.
That's very interesting. Do you know if that is something that is still happening right now, or?
Yeah, that's you can either apply to the program and provide all of your transcripts, or you can just start as an interest student and see what courses strike your fancy, try them out, decide if it's something that you want to do, and if you can handle the course load, and work your way up from there.
That is great. So while we at that, you talked about courses and how they're challenging but fun. So what are your favorite courses so far?
Okay, so I watched a previous interview that you had done with Christine, and hands down, 100%, I just want to give a shout out to GLPH 271. It was the best course as well for me, but because it's already been talked about, I'm not going to talk about that one. I just want to make it clear that that has been my favorite course. But she gives a very good outline if you want to watch the other interview that Jaila did as to what that course is. Other than that, I would say I have two. First one is the IDIS 173 and the IDIS 373, the Health History and the Health Ethics and Law course. Those two courses. I think why I liked them so much, I thought it was going to be the driest material in the world. It's health administration and not something that I'm interested in. Why do I want to learn about policy and law? But the format in which it was delivered allowed us to explore multiple legal and ethical issues and moral issues. The first course was all on the history of healthcare, and the entire process for the course was to write an ongoing blog where you selected your own topics about history, law, policy, and then you did research, and then you applied your own opinions. And I think that in university, a lot of this is about reading content, doing research, and regurgitating other people's information into our reports. But this course allowed us to do that, but also to provide our own flavor, our own understanding of the concepts, and our own opinions into the subject matter. And I found that to be extremely enjoyable, and I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
That is great to hear. I have the same thought about the first year, the History and Philosophy of Healthcare course. I really liked it, how we can pick our own topics of interest, like advocating for different type of diseases, whether if it is a disease or if it's not a disease. I still remember that nowadays. And there was just so much personal experience and all your own research that you can bring into the project. And this is something, as you said, that's very different from all the other courses where you're like regurgitating other information. So
very
thank you for saying that.
I'm going to name one more course though. Okay. I think it's BHSc 383. It was BMed 383 when we took it, which is Advanced Research Methodologies. And that was the course that I was in JILA with. And I would say that that was my next favorite course because of the fact that it was structured in so far as you learned some content, you applied the content. You learned more content, you applied the content. You learned more content, you applied the content. Every week, every module, you were building on the module before, going through research right from how to write a research article and review a research article right from the very beginning to the end, from selecting your research questions or hypotheses, selecting your sample population and your sampling methods, to data collection, to how you're going to do data analysis. And the semester-long structure of that program was just very easy to follow and be a part of. And the best part of that group was we did that entire project as a group. We were assigned 5 people at the beginning, and then you worked with those same 5 people all throughout the program, which meant I had a lot of Zoom conferences with JILA over the weeks of last semester.
It was fun. It was fun. Honestly, I think one thing that I very like about this program is the amount of group work that we get in a lot of our courses, and that really helps us learn how to collaborate with other people who might have the same or different ambition in terms of their future goals. And it's something very important to kind of take home and take it into the future. So
very much.
I 100% agree with you in terms of those 2 courses. And very much looking forward to the I'm taking the health ethics and policy course this year, and all the other on-campus student first cohort are also. So we are very looking forward to that course. So
yeah, the structure is very similar to the first year course. So if you enjoyed the first year course, you're definitely going to enjoy this one as well.
That is great. That is very good to hear. I'll take you up on that if it's if I end up not liking it. But full confidence. So what is the hardest course that you've taken so far?
Okay, so one of the other things that I'll give for the benefits of the health sciences program is there's all the core courses, then there's all the option courses, and then you have electives. So the electives you can fill from more options courses, or you can take any of the life sciences online courses as elective courses. And because science is my track, I decided to do a lot of my electives in the life sciences side and do like my biology and chemistry and organic chemistry, which brings me to my least favorite course, which was organic chemistry, because it was like content was interesting, but oh my god, hard. So just prepare yourself for organic chemistry. I know everybody says it, but it was very difficult. And so I would say that one for difficulty. The other one, I'm going to go opposite of what Christine said in the last interview and talk about BChem 218. She talked about BChem 270, which is hard and a lot of content, but very enjoyable about metabolism all throughout the body. BChem 218 is an introduction to microbiology, and it was so much content. And again, every week there's a lesson that you have to learn, and then there was a tutorial you had to do with the professor online. It was kind of like a blended program where you read the material ahead of time, just like all the on-campus students, and then you went to their classroom where they were actually in class, and you watched the professor teach the class. And then during the class, it was live polls that you had to be involved in to answer questions. Basically, you could do it on your phone or your computer, and to get some marks from the class, make sure that you enjoyed the content or that you understood the content. But it was a little harder in the online universe to do that because you had to do it at a very specific time. Sign up for those tutorials, and there wasn't more than one option, which made it difficult, and the content was a lot. So yeah, that was probably my hardest course.
218. Oh, I suffered that course. For me, last year I took the first half. I took Orgo, and I'm like, nope, I don't like it. So I'm gonna take BChem 218 instead. Second year, I was like, why did I just drop from one
difficult course
right into
another
to another difficult course? It was like there was not smart choice at all. But yeah, the content I have to say were very interesting.
So that's funny. So you signed up for both Chem 281 and followed by Chem 285, and then dropped Chem 285 before it started?
Yeah. So for us it's 281, 282.
Yeah.
And I dropped 282 before it started.
Well, I did exactly the same thing. I signed up for both Orgo 1 and Orgo 2, and then as soon as I finished Orgo 1, I was like, no, I don't think I need Orgo 2.
Yeah. If it was in person, I thought it would have been better, right? Because you have more support, and all the content is just so hard to learn. It was online for me because of COVID, and that makes it a lot more difficult, I feel like, than it should be. Oh well, you guys gotta keep your eyes out for those two. Make sure you don't trip. Make sure you allocate time for them, and if you do want to take them, just say that, and seek for professors for your student support. So next question for you. You're in 4th year now, almost there. After 8 months, you're gonna graduate. So what are your goals after that happens?
So I am hoping to get into medical school following this degree, and it is the reason why I chose to do the degree in the first place. As I've said earlier, 20 years as a paramedic is a full career pretty much on its own, and I would like to restart with another career that's in the same field and just advance my knowledge and my skills. And so medical school is the ultimate goal.
So do you have any specialty in mind, or are you just open for...
Yes, and considering that I've spent 20 years in pre-hospital medicine, my specialty will remain the same. I would like to focus on emergency care, and possibly even look at a base hospital that oversees and helps with the medical directives of a local service.
That is great. That is great. Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So to wrap this interview up, a lot of our audience are Bachelor of Health Sciences students, and you want to give them some tips in terms of making the most out of this program or succeed?
I'll talk about some of the hardest parts of the health sciences program and some of the best parts that I found so far to help with this. So one of the hardest parts is that you are doing it online. If you're taking the online version of it, you are by yourself a lot with your own computer, trying to absorb content. And that can be very difficult. You said, Jyla, with COVID, we all noticed how the online environment is very different than the in-class environment. And so in class, if you're going over a presentation that's 40 slides, you're going to have an instructor that is basically emphasizing which slides are more important, which content is more important, and you can take notes accordingly. But when you're doing it online, every single slide, you don't know what's important on the slide, and everything is given the same priority. And so trying to sort through the deluge of information that's thrown at you can be very difficult to try and focus for studying. So what I would suggest is, for those types of things, reach out to your professors, reach out to your TAs, ask them those questions, because they're very good at being able to tell you exactly what it is that you need to know and where the focus of the program should be if you haven't been able to decipher that yourself. The best part of the health sciences program has been communication. I thought coming into the online environment, I was doing this by myself, and I learned very quickly I'm not doing this by myself. There's an entire community behind and around me also doing this. The professors are fantastic. They get back to you very quickly. TAs are fantastic. Everyone is willing to help. And in many of the courses, there is group work where you work with other health sciences students that are also doing the online program. And you get to know them and their experiences. And I'm now in 4th year, and I still talk to people that I was in groups with in 1st year about how school is going. And we provide each other little tips and tricks and talk about programs that people are going to take next semester and what they're going to like and what they're not going to like and what they should watch out for. So when you get the opportunity to be involved in the discussion boards and the group work, my advice would be active, take part in them, talk with other classmates, get to know them, and develop those relationships that I thought were not going to exist in an online program, but definitely have existed. And that was the surprise I wasn't expecting that made this program better than I expected it to be.
I 100% agree. I feel like for on-campus students, most of our courses are all together. But for BMed 383, because it was an online course, we get to know like the online students. And that really, and also life sciences students that were also taking the course, and that I feel really opened my mind up and made me meet so many amazing people like the one that I'm interviewing today. So that is really awesome. And the environment, at least for me, like it has been very supportive. The TAs, Dr. Adams is awesome, and then like yeah, academic advisor. So it was a great tip about in terms of how like everything's online. You don't really know what the professor's expectation is, and like you said, like the more you talk to them, the more you know exactly what they're thinking when they're designing the course and how like what really their expectation is.
That is the point. Talk to the professors. Most of them have office hours scheduled. Show up, get to know them, put a face to the name, let them put a face to your name. And when it's online, we don't have this level of communication unless we force it, and this program does allow for us to have that same level of communication, so take advantage of that.
Exactly. Okay, so that is it for this such a rich conversation. Thank you so much for coming and telling everyone about your story. Again, we hope to see you sometime soon and hear about how you've been, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much for asking me to do this. It was a pleasure.
A big thanks to all the friends, family, and professors for supporting me and Ella in creating this channel. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support, and thank those of you for watching. Bye!